archery class?
I did, and why am I gonna run up with donuts?
Don't really.
I know. So that's why I got yogurt.
I did not work out today, so it doesn't matter.
Are you not? I thought. Did you guys join the gym?
Yeah, I went 3 times this week.
Awesome.
For the record.
Which one are you going to the Y, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know I fell down last week?
Yeah. Are you okay?
I fell down again this week.
Are you serious?
And I wasn't being a jackal. I was being a jackal.
Yeah.
I was trying to stake her ass.
Yeah, and she went.
Oh, yeah. I heard about
That
that.
loud.
friend who is a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids and totally classy yelled out the window as they're going by Waffle Champion, "Pancakes are better!"
Oh, God.
That's
It was
funny.
hilarious. So, she should fit right in with
Is that your laptop?
Yeah.
May I borrow it? Okay.
No, Vigo put applesauce on the stairs. I almost died doing it.
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
Oh my gosh.
Did he
so you
spill it
split
or
on
put on there?
Yeah.
He spilled it.
And he, as he was laughing. And
Yeah. Mom's gonna love this.
He
Yeah.
felt really bad. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh my goodness. How far did you fall?
well, I stepped
Far enough, I'm sure.
and like just fell kind of right there, but my knee did like this weird, unnatural bendy thing.
Oh God, I'm sorry. And are you like in pain now?
It feels weird.
It does.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Okay, who took the chambers?
We moved him. Wanted to get more people in here.
There was.
Oh, hey,
On
tell me
Monday.
about this. So, if Isaac's, he's taking it from him, right? Legal stuff. We should know he's doing it to real estate.
Yeah, so Isaac's paying him is paying this guy $10. Or no,
Yeah.
they're paying Isaac $10 to take it.
No.
It's quit claim, grant, convey unto. So they paid Isaac $10.
I
Or-
know. I've never seen shit like these.
Oh, a married
They
person.
did with your booty.
So he just put his wife in the title. Looks like they
I'm
paid.
trying to sell it. He says he owns it. Hold on. What did I say?
Well, he owns it with his wife. Is what it looks like.
No. Isaac's selling it. I have the listing. But
I think
we have an offer.
his brother's on title, and his wife left to be closing too, so she's a married person.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
Yeah. He dead or?
No, they're young people.
Yeah.
I told
Well,
him.
what's on the accessory page? Just Isaac
Oh,
or his
no,
brother
so
too?
disciplined. I feel like I do all the time.
Right here it says Isaac.
But it was granted to
No, they are around, actually.
Isaac. Yeah, so both of them own it on title. Isaac Bolanos and Emil Bolanos, they both own it. And since he's married, his wife's gonna have to be there to sign the deed. So
I talked to him about this when I listed it, and I was like, he's like, no, I signed it. We did it.
hey,
There.
thank you.
Gavin, what are you doing today? Huh? What are you doing today that you're all dressed up? I'm dressed up.
Girl, look
Well,
at us. I'm in my pajamas practically.
It's like Saturday.
Yeah, you
Well,
got
I am.
your heels on.
Now, what's with this for 1 minute?
Okay.
I didn't realize I was dressed up.
Weird.
I'm wearing heels.
I'm wearing
I know.
and earrings that match.
You always look great when you're dressed. For Saturday, like I thought you might come in and, I mean, I think if I didn't have the shoes on, you would. I wouldn't want to be part of it. Maybe.
No.
You always look great.
I'm like in.
Alright, tell you what, next Saturday, I need a dress code. You should wear your Kevo shirt with it, Hills. Come on.
I'm gonna get my Kevo shirt.
Huh?
I'm gonna get my Kevo shirt.
You didn't get it?
Yeah.
No.
They're in there.
Oh.
I'll get you one.
Do you want a hat? My call?
Are you making them?
I need a call so you can get it at the Kevo. White one with the same Kevo logo. You don't want one? We're doing a few events, like when I have an actual table. And we're gonna be, You want is gonna last for the week to like. You want to do a month today?
Recruiting.
Oh, Brett, that's awesome.
It's cool.
I need help with that. For motivation.
You have like 20 people on your team.
Never enough.
Right.
All right. We're 10 minutes late, so we'll go ahead and get started now. Anyone ever seen this video? Art Williams Just Do It speech? No? Okay, so Art Williams was the owner of Primerica, who started in the 80s, and in about 10 years or so grew to be larger than MetLife and New York Life combined in their sales. So he grew and beat number 1 and 2 combined. And so he's going over kind of what he thinks you have to do to be successful in business. And so there's about a 4-minute clip I was going to show. And just to kind of learn a little bit about what he thinks you have to do to be successful in business.
Use college board scores, college degrees,
Kind
and
of in the middle,
like
so
that.
hold on.
What's inside a person? It's your integrity. It's your people abilities. It's your character. I believe in developing this winning edge. I've got 10 or 12 points that I won't be able to go over with you tonight, but let me just give you a flavor of what I think you got to do to succeed in these United States. Number one, you got to get excited. Folks, I don't believe anybody will ever tell you anything more important than this in winning in these United States. 90+% of winning in anything you try to do in America today, you got to be excited. People in America won't follow or believe in a negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. People want people that are positive and excited and enthusiastic and tough. The greatest definition I ever heard, I thought about this 10 million times when I wanted to quit along the way of a winter. This guy said almost everybody in America can stay excited for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay excited for 2 or 3 years. But a winner will stay excited for 30 years, however how long it takes to win. Another key to building this winning edge and this mental toughness is you got to become a dreamer again. You know, I'm a Methodist, and we just changed ministers a few weeks ago. Our new minister came in, and the church was just packed. And the first thing he said, well, it looks like everybody came out to see the monkey perform. And the second thing out of his mouth, he said, for a church to be a great church, you got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, you're dead. And boy, I sat up and I said, man, me and this guy are going to get along good because he knows what he's talking about. See, folks, I believe in order to win, you got to feel good about yourself. When I was coaching football for 7 years back in Georgia, and I had a paddle in my coaching office that was about this thick and this long. And in the fat end, I had little holes bored in it so you could really get some speed and blister the little butt, you know, when they misbehaved. And I had a rule on my football team that if any kid said, I can't, if any football player heard one of my football players say, I can, he got to bring him in the coach's office and give him 3 legs. And it took me about a month to get all that thinking out of my players every year, you know, and I'd have football players knock on my door at recess and at lunch and after school. And he said, Coach, he said it. Coach, he said it. And I'd make that kid bend over and I'd give that other kid the board. He'd bust him 3 times. And folks, it didn't take long. You couldn't create a word game to get one of my kids to say I can't. Bring it home a little bit more personal. When April and little Art were just this little and could understand words. Every time they said I can't, I made them do 3 push-ups. Folks, there ain't nothing you can't do in America if you want to bad enough. Another key in building this winning edge is, folks, you got to stand for something. People in America, the good people in America, are fed up with these dadgum fence sitters and mealy mouths. Corporate America has an especially black eye in business today. Most people in America think you can't find a company. They think you can't find a salesperson that'll tell you like it is and stand behind their word. They think these companies will sell anything, say anything, just to make a sale, just to make a profit. Well, you know what? Folks, if you want to win in the free enterprise system in America today, you got to stand for something. And another point. Thank you. Controversial. Folks, if you want to win in these United States today, just get ready. You're going to be controversial. The only way not to be controversial is to be average and ordinary. They just call me anything but average and ordinary. Now, I know some of you might say, well, you know, I don't think I like Art Williams. You know, he sounds like an old tough butt to me. Well, folks, I'm telling you, you can be good and tough at the same time. I bet nobody's ever talked to a religious broadcaster like that. Another key to developing this winning attitude that'll give you a chance to do something great in American business is, folks, you got to make a total commitment to what you're about. Do you know the American people have lost their toughness? They've lost their ability to make a commitment. See, folks, in trying to win in business, you're just going to have so many false starts. You think you get it going time after time, and you just get knocked back to ground zero, and it's your ability to compete, to pick yourself up off the bat one more time, to go for it one more time, that's going to determine success or failure.
There you go.
You
Gotta get that last one.
part.
Huh?
You can get to the good part.
Which one?
When he's just do it.
Oh, the last minute and a half.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That part. That part actually gets under my skin a little bit. At the end, he just tells people to go do it, do it, do it, and he says like 80 times. All right, so thank you, Andrea, for letting me use your computer. Yeah, so today topic. God, we need more technology. Is recruiting. So the reason I kind of wanted to show that was to be excited about whatever you guys are getting into. Whatever you're talking to someone, you have to be excited. You have to be able to dream again. You have to be able to sell what you're doing and sell the potential, the opportunity, and what we have going on here. So recruiting is the number one thing that it's the difference between this being a job and this being a career. It's the only difference between making it be a job and making this be a career path or a business that we're building. It's the only difference between a realtor and a business owner, an entrepreneur. So that's why this is one of the more important things that we teach for long-term career paths at Kevo, because this is something that's going to allow you to create a business, to create something that can exist without your intervention. And I'm trying some new stuff, so if I awkwardly look at my notes throughout the thing, don't think I'm weird. Recruiting is something that you got to get started right away. It's not something that you can wait a year from now, 2 years from now, because it's kind of a long-term process. So we use the analogy of imagine you're a restaurant owner. You own a restaurant, you're opening up a new restaurant. You lease the building out, you buy the tables, you buy the chairs, the cups, the plates, the silverware. You get all the cooking material, all the food, right? Because you can't have a restaurant without food. Are you going to wait for that first client to walk through the door before you hire a wait staff or a chef? No, you're going to get those people in place. You're going to get the right people in place, train them, make sure they understand everything. You usually need them. Otherwise, if you guys, imagine trying to run a restaurant where you're asking the first client that comes in if they want to be a waiter, right? Because I don't have anyone to serve your food. Or need them. When I was, I was part-time for 9 months, quit my full-time job January of 2015. By April and into May, I had 12 houses under contract in just a 4-month span. I did everything I was supposed to do, called as many FISBOs as I can, went to as many open houses as I can, as many recruiting appointments, as many networking appointments as I can, and I was able to blessed enough to generate a bunch of business. Ended up getting 12 houses under contract, which is great, but I never want to do it again. I felt like I was drowning for 3 months straight. And then by the time it was all over, I had no time to prospect. All I was doing was trying to put out fires for 2 straight months. Great pay, loved all the checks I got from it, but I don't want to do it anymore. So I focused from there to try to build a team. At that time, I think I had 1 person, 2 people on my team, and I was trying to train them at the same time. By that next time, again, it's cyclical. So by April, May, June of the next year, I had about 8 or 9 people on my team, had an opportunity to train them and get them ready. The industry started picking up a little bit again, and I got up to about 8 contracts, and I kind of backed off. I said, that's about as many as I want to do right now. So I started passing off open houses to my team. I started passing off leads to my team, started passing off. I'd go on more appointments with them to generate them and kind of slow my business down. I kind of diverted a lot of what I could have done business for myself to my team because I wanted to have that freedom. I wanted to be able to turn my phone off at 5 o'clock or on the weekend or leave town and not constantly be on my phone. So I had that team in place to where I could do that next year. But if you don't start it right away and you wait till you're busy or you wait till you need it, then you're never going to get it because you're not going to have the time at that point. You got to get it started right away. And so what a lot of people on my team, and I actually kind of was the same way, when you're new, when you're brand new or when you're kind of new, you feel like, how can I bring someone into this industry? Because really, recruiting is just one aspect of it. Once they're in, you've got to train them. You're held accountable to get this person successful. Getting someone in here and then just forgetting about them does no one any good, especially that person. Doesn't do the company any good. You don't make any money. Company doesn't make any money. They don't make any money. It all hinges on how we can train these new people. And so their thought, brand new, I've only sold one house, or maybe I've never sold a house. How can I feel like I can't train these people, right? Which is a very real concern. I felt the same way when I was new. I felt like I only sold 2 or 3 houses. How can I get someone in here? What if I do? What if I accidentally get someone in here? Then what? And what I found was the system that's created around you really supports you and your people. So when I was brand new, when I brought in someone who was new, who was interested, ready, gung-ho, eager, ready to get going, I did my best to assist them. But if something was over my head or I couldn't answer a question, my mentor was right there, oftentimes training both of us at the same time. And the best way to learn something is to teach it. If you don't quite understand it and you're teaching it, you research it, you have a more holistic understanding of everything, you got to be able to answer questions. So as you move in from that path of I'm doing it to I'm training people to do it, you really increase your knowledge big time. And so although you might not be there right now, someone is there. You're on a team of high-producing agents. We force you to be. You don't have any option. So if you cannot personally answer a question or cannot personally train someone on this or that, there is someone very accessible to you to train those people. Oftentimes at the same time. We have some people in school who tell the person next to them in school, hey, I'm going with Kevo. They're a great company. One of them have done anything, right? They've never even talked to a client before, so they can't train each other. So they go through the training at the same time, and they can still begin to build their team. And so when you're brand new, and I like I said, I struggled with this too when I was new. I didn't have a watch or a ring yet when I was trying to recruit. I didn't have that success story. I can't tell people how awesome I am and how great of a trainer I'm going to be and how I'm going to make you so much money. I couldn't tell them those things because I didn't have that yet. I wasn't ready to sell that to them yet. So what you have to do when you're new, you have to, and I just say, sell what you have. Sell what you do have, the benefits, the advantages you do have. When you come on at Kevo, you're placed on a team with high-producing agents. You're placed on a team. You're given mentors. You're given support. You should never be without resources at Kevo Properties. You're given an opportunity to come in on Saturdays and have conversations with the broker or senior partners or people who are high-producing top 200 agents in the industry, in the city. You're able to have these conversations with people because they genuinely want you to succeed. That's what you can sell to people. That's what really exists here that doesn't exist anywhere else. So if you're struggling, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. If you really, really enjoy where you're at, what you're doing, if you really think what we're doing works, and I hope everyone in here does, I hope everyone appreciates what's being given to them and the resources they have, sell that to people. Joe McKinney used the exaggerated example, but it's true. Imagine if you had the cure to cancer, right? You're not gonna keep that to yourself, right? You're gonna tell everyone you can possibly tell about it. Well, we have the cure to real estate. So I think everyone in here needs to be telling everyone they know about it. Because what we're doing here, in 6 years to rise to the 8th largest brokerage in Oklahoma City, competing against people who have been doing it for 30, 40 years, and we're doing it with people who have been in the industry less than 3 years. Jasmine and I have been in the industry almost 3 years, probably right at 3 years.
Right at next month.
And we are like senior citizens in this company. We are the most experienced people in this company at 3 years. And so we're doing it with people who are 3 years, 2 years. I bet our average years in the industry is probably right at 2 maybe for our 150 people, and we're able to be in a top 10 brokerage. So you can see how quickly what we're doing, we're be able to turn people who have no idea what they're doing into very competent realtors very quickly. And so that's what you guys have to sell. If you're new or if you don't have that success story yet, that's what we have to sell. Sell what you have, guys. And that's no one should be without in this company. So what's really cool, what makes it exciting or easy to recruit into an industry like real estate, Forbes did a study that said 70% of people are dissatisfied with their career path, which basically means 70% of people hate their jobs. I was one of those 70% of people. It's the reason I'm standing in front of you now, Jasmine. I mean, a lot of people are in this because they didn't like where they were at or where they were going. It's exactly why I'm here. 300,000 people in the Oklahoma City area are involved in some sort of company or product, whether we're selling makeup or vitamins, Arbonne, Mary Kay. These companies, these products exist because people are looking for an alternative to what they're doing. It's not, people don't, I mean, there's probably all natural makeup, I don't know. It's not any of this stuff. If it's better or better for you or the environment, I don't know. People aren't selling this stuff because they really, really believe in this product. Some people might, but really, it's an alternative. It's an escape from what they are currently in, and they see it as an opportunity, and that's what people are getting involved in. And so I think there would be much, much more than 300,000 people if it weren't for that kind of that voice in the back of your head, like, I don't want to get into this because what will my friends think? What will my parents say? What will my boss think if he found out? There's hesitations because people care too much about what other people think about them. And so when you're looking at getting into something, another opportunity or an alternative to your current career, real estate is a very easy choice to make. I mean, turn on the TV. There's about 50 or 60 shows out there about flipping houses, investing. There's TV shows that follow around realtors. I'd to have a camera crew follow me around. We'd have to be on HBO though, because we're a little vulgar. Or something like that. But so, I mean, yeah, exactly. Lacey would just have a constant blur. Yeah. So you can.
It would just be bleak all the time.
Yeah. They just wouldn't go in that often. So you can see the public has an interest. They're infatuated with real estate right now. There are more shows. There's a whole channel of TV shows dedicated almost to real estate shows. So there's a ton of interest in real estate right now. Real estate is something that you can very easily, and many people do, turn into full-time careers. A lot of these Mary Kay, Arbonne, that kind of stuff, they're stuff that you do on the side. They're hobbies. They're part-time stuff. A lot of people don't see that as a job opportunity. They see it as maybe an opportunity to make a little bit of money. And so real estate is a completely different opportunity for people. It's something that you can get in. The numbers are much bigger. The commissions are much bigger. The product's much bigger. It's much more fun to sell. People are interested in it. People come to you to talk about it. It's a very, very easy sell if someone's looking for that alternative. If they are one of the 70% of people that hate their job, or maybe everyone could use more money, right? If I want to go on an extra vacation a year, buy my wife something nice, something like that, not worry about what's going to happen if my car breaks down. You know, people could always use that extra money and that opportunity. And this is something that you can get in very quickly and become proficient in very quickly. It can be a great $10,000 a year opportunity or $100,000 a year opportunity, like a lot of people have turned it into. And again, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, as a lot of people probably found out as they get into it. It's hard. You got to build stuff in this industry. So this isn't something like, hey, join here and you're going to get $100,000 in your first 6 months. It's not like that. You're going to work hard. You're going to fail a lot. But if you do it properly, do it right, do it how we show you how to do it consistently, then you're going to build something. Someone told me it's the hardest job to make $50,000 in, but the easiest job to make $500,000 in. When you get it rolling, once your business is established, it really runs itself. And we're seeing people do that all over. Sherry's not here. Sherry and Brandon and I were joking. We went on like a 2.5-hour lunch the other day and we were kind of laughing about what our spouses would think if they knew I went on a 2.5-hour lunch. They wouldn't be pleased. But we're able to do stuff like that because if you set up your business properly and run it properly and do the efficient stuff efficiently, you have really all the time in the world to do whatever else you want. You can really be a realtor for 4 hours a day in the morning if you were disciplined, but no one is. Yeah, so we're getting there, right? So when you're talking with someone who's interested in real estate, they're going to have objections. They're going to have, most people aren't going to jump gung-ho into stuff. And so there's one of our best ways to kind of overcome objections is the feel, felt, found method. Have you ever heard of that? So if they have an objection, one that I get a lot is, I don't want to cold call people, right? No one likes cold calling people. So I understand how you feel. I felt that same way when I started. I didn't want to cold call people. But what I found was that these people we're calling, these for sale by owners that we're calling, they're usually expecting our call. And if you do them properly, they welcome you with open arms. If you do them properly. Now, there's some assholes out there. Don't act like there's not. But 90% of the people are going to be very receptive, very nice to you. And so we're not cold calling people trying to get them to switch AT&T to Verizon or something like that they don't care about. These are people who are selling their house. For whatever reason, they have motivation. And we're calling them to try to help. So these objections you get, understand what they're saying, relate to them, because, guys, this isn't a real complicated industry. If they have an objection, someone else has had that same objection, or that same feeling, that same thought, that same question. No one's had an original thought in real estate in hundreds of years, I assure you. So understand what they're saying, relate to them, because you probably felt the exact same way when you got in it, and then show them what you found, show them your experience as you got into it. And again, when you're new, and you're meeting with these people who are interested, I encourage everyone to kind of bring a mentor with them. If it's a best friend or something like that, maybe you can have candid conversations. But bring mentors. They can overcome those objections, answer those easy questions that you may not have heard before, stuff like that. So always, that's all until very recently. Anytime I got any kind of recruiting appointment, I just brought Steve along and just sat there and watched Steve. Because Steve is so passionate and infectious with what he does here. He's so excited about what he's doing. Like Art Williams was saying, he's so excited. It's just an attractive quality whenever someone, if you're wanting to get involved in something, it's very, very exciting. So you got to be part of that. So when you're brand new, again, they're going to have that. I was telling a story, or I heard a story. Let's see. Hopefully I don't butcher it. So something about a spy got caught, right, in a foreign country. It was imprisoned, and the spy was sentenced to death. The general who was over the prison sat the spy down and gave him two options. He said, you can either face the firing squad tomorrow, or you can go through the black door. The prisoner thought about it for a while. The spy, he thought about it. They ended up choosing the firing squad. So they took him out into the courtyard, shot until he was killed, and then the general was talking to his assistant. And he said, people are always going to take the known over the unknown. And so the assistant said, what was on the other side of the door? The general said, freedom. It was the exit. And he gave him that option because he knew the guy was going to choose certain death over the unknown. Because it's human nature. So if we know if that's human nature, people are going to have this reservation about getting into something that they don't know anything about. You say that. Well, but you don't know what's on the other side.
Shot in the head.
Yeah.
You're a spy too. You already probably know the obstacles to get out the black door.
Maybe. Hopefully not. But it worked for this guy. So the people have this mental block of not wanting to experience the unknown. They have this comfort level that they don't want to get out of. So you have to reassure them with what happens at Kevo. When you come into Kevo, you're not going to do anything by yourself. We're not going to throw you out into the world and say, good luck. Sign calls you get, the first 3 open houses, for sale by owners, networking, recruiting appointments. Any of these appointments that you do, we don't want you going by yourself because you don't know what you're doing yet, right? It's going to be a waste of time if you go out there and just mumble through some half-baked scripts or something. So we go with you don't do anything on your own And tell them that. When you're brand new, I'm going to take you out and hold your hand until you sell 3 houses. At that point, you should have the competency to kind of get it going on your own because, again, it's not that difficult. So let them know right away you're never going to be alone. You're always going to have a resource, someone to answer a question. And you're immediately placed on a team with high-producing agents. You're placed on a team of resources right away. I tell in my Tuesday talk, one of the biggest things about Kevo is having a mentor who is financially invested in you. If I have a question at 8 o'clock at night, there's a 90% chance he's going to answer his phone at 8 o'clock at night because he knows if I'm trying to get a deal done, he'll get paid on it. And so he answers his phone call. And he answers my question that takes 45 seconds to explain, right? Because there's no such thing as an emergency in real estate, so nothing's life or death here. It's all very, very simple stuff. Sometimes. In the moment, they're all emergencies, right? So in that initial meeting when they have those, because they're not going to ask all their questions for the most part. There's going to be some questions they don't ask out loud. That's why we like to do recruiting in groups, because when people are in groups, they feel more, you have more people ask questions, there's less it's less one-on-one, and people have the same questions, so it's a lot easier to get all the concerns answered like that. But make them feel comfortable, make sure they understand what's going to happen when they come into this company. And it's that they're going to have their hand held through these processes. As long as they're willing to work. If someone's not willing to work, then mentors aren't really going to drag them across the finish line, right? But if you're willing to work, want to get up, want to go do it, you should never be without a resource. So the recruiting process is a sales process. It takes time. You're not going to snag someone on the very first meeting that you have with them. Some people maybe, if they've been thinking about it for a while and you catch them at the right time. Most people are going to have to think about it. They're going to have to research it. They're going to have to ask their friends or family about it. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're going to come in and look around. They're going to look at alternatives. There's a sales process involved with it. And you have to make yourself available for that process. And it's all about follow-up and timing. Just like any sale, you have to follow up with people. I spoke with Lindsay 2 years ago about joining Kevo Properties, and she's like, no, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, and I never followed her back. And then 6 months later, maybe, she ends up joining Kevo because someone else called her, and it was the right time. She was fed up with whatever was going on over there, and she's like, okay, and he probably followed up. A lot. So it's all about follow-up and timing. You have to follow up because eventually, if someone has some interest, they just might not be ready right now. I use an example of one of the ladies on my team, Taylor Clarkson. She is an accountant, a CPA, so she went through a lot of testing, a lot of studying, a lot of schooling, but she doesn't like it anymore, which I cannot blame her. And so I talked to her about it, and she's like, yeah, I'm really interested, but I'm want to wait till this is over so I can be focused on her. I want to do this or that. So I just said, okay, followed up with her about every 2 weeks, bumped it down to following up with her about every month because she was still kind of saying the same stuff. Called her one time, and she's like, that's so funny that you called me today. I just came home from my job crying yesterday, thinking I gotta do something. She's just overworked, overwhelmed, underappreciated, all this stuff you hear from corporate America. And she's like, it's so funny that you called me because I just got fed up with it yesterday. So I talked with her, we went to lunch the next day, and then she got enrolled in real estate school. Now she's in real estate school right now. So it's all about follow-up and timing. It took, I don't know if you guys have all met Brandon Baca. It took Steve 3 years to recruit Brandon Baca. Tremendous asset to the company, but he had reservations about it, and he felt like he was fine where he's at. Finally, one day his boss pissed him off just enough, and then he got pregnant with his 4th kid, I think. And so he thought, okay, something's got to give. And so he helped start Kevo 6 years ago. But so it's a sales process. It's a follow-up and a timing. So if I would encourage everyone to watch the Do It video. It's very entertaining. He's a very passionate speaker too. He's not very tactful. He's just he calls himself an old dumb South Georgia football coach. That's what he is. Yeah. Hubert Humphrey wrote a book called The Magic of Compound Recruiting. Hubert Humphrey was in the insurance company that Art Williams started, and he went through a couple of different spurts where he was recruiting like 600 people in a 6-month period. He did it like 3 or 4 times. Very aggressive. But his thing was to recruit through people. So when you're brand new, a lot of people have reservations about recruiting. How can I start building a team? How can I train these people? So he would take his new person and say, give me the name of 5 people that you think are really smart or sharp people. And then he would call those 5 people and talk to them about whatever they were involved in. To try to get them sales and then to try to help them build their team. So he recruited through people for people, and it really accelerated his growth. Because some people just aren't going to recruit. They're not going to want to recruit right now. They don't really understand the benefit of it. But he has a lot of recruiting tactics, recruiting scripts, kind of explains the benefit of doing it, recruiting real wide versus recruiting deep, all that stuff. But one thing he says in there that makes a lot of sense, is really relatable here, is he recruits quality through quantity. So don't judge anyone if they talk to you about real estate or if you're talking to them about real estate. Don't judge their ability to be successful in it. We've seen tall people, skinny people, fat people, short people. Everyone's been successful in real estate. And you can look at someone and think they're going to be an all-star, and then when they come in, they expect everything to be handed to them, and then they quit in 5 months. Or you look at someone, you think, that guy's never going to make it, and he just completely crushes it and becomes a high producer, builds an awesome team, and does everything the right way. So don't judge any of your people or anyone that you're talking to about it. Plus, we've had people join the company and not really do anything or sell anything, but they introduced us to someone who has done something, who has sold a bunch. So there's always, you never know who someone is going to lead you to. And it's the same way with all your appointments, all your for sale by owner appointments, your open house appointments, your networking appointments. You never know what's going to be on the other side of that conversation. So you got to have as many of those conversations as you possibly can. I did a bunch of for sale by owners when I was brand new, and I just through dumb luck and effort being out there doing it, I met a builder who had 8 houses that they needed to list. Got 8 listings right there. Met an investor who had 40 houses that he wanted to sell. And over the past 2 years, we've been selling those. We've sold 8 or 9 of them so far. So just getting out and having conversations, you fall into these situations. If you're prepared and you're out working, you're going to get these things. So recruit quality through quantity. It's about get as many people in here, because a lot of people aren't going to make it. They're not going to have the drive. They're going to do it part-time. Maybe they get promoted and they forget about real estate. Maybe they've got other things going on. Life gets in the way all the time with what people perceive to be a part-time or a secondary income. And so it just kind of falls by the wayside. So you want to get as many people in, work with as many people, because really only about 10%, 20% of them are going to do stuff. Everyone has high expectations, but when it comes time to doing the work, putting in the work, the hours, going to these appointments, setting up these appointments, sometimes not everyone gets excited about it like everyone else does. So get as many people as you can, and to get as many people so you can find your quality people. Hubert Humphreys. Again, he's big on recruiting through people. So if I'm brand new in the industry and I go talk to one of my good friends, he doesn't see me as a real estate agent. He sees me as the financial analyst that works at MidFirst Bank. So if I can bring my mentor along, who's been in the industry for 20-some years, who is a high producer, who is a really infectious person, he understands the system, understands Kevo, understands the industry. If I can bring that perceived expert into the conversation, I don't have to do the recruiting. Now he can talk about what I'm getting involved in and hopefully sell that to that person, see if they're interested in it too. So recruiting through people is a big thing for Hubert, big thing for sometimes a lot of people around here do it. But it's a way, because his family and friends, they don't really see you as a realtor right now. They're not going to for your first year. I think I sold 15 or 20 houses before I sold anything to a family or a friend. like all my family and friends were kind of like, wait and see if he's really doing this or not. Like, is this just something he's doing, or is this for real? And when I finally quit my job and came on full time, then I started getting a lot more of my network working with CU that way. Yeah, so it's hard to dip into that network right away, but it's a lot easier if you bring that authority figure along, that perceived expert. So bring your mentor. Really, the biggest thing, again, recruiting means nothing if we're not mentoring our people once they get in here. If we bring them in here and then they just fall by the wayside, it's no benefit to anybody. So really hold your mentors accountable. If you're not getting what you need out of your mentors, go to someone else, tell them, ask them, talk to someone about getting moved, talk to someone about getting the work you need. You know, if you're not getting what you need from your mentor, it's an issue and we need to address it. So bring your mentors on everything you do when you're brand new. Don't feel like you're bugging them. Don't feel like you're calling them too much. This is their job. Kevo pays them to mentor you. And so abuse that relationship big time. Because it's the only way you're going to benefit from it. It's the only way you're going to succeed is if you really, really milk that person for everything they know. So, it sounds like Darhan's doing it, yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. Does anyone have any questions about anything I said? Any experiences they've had? That good? Am I that thorough? Can't be.
So how do you get started in real estate school? I'm like at that point.
Okay, so you're just getting involved. Okay. We have one of those packets back there that will walk you through the entire thing. And it'll give you like the fees associated and all that junk. I think it costs like. Oh, so getting into school is $250 if you do it online. Yeah, it's like $1,200 or $1,400 from now to when you're licensed.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I thought it was $4,000.
No, very accessible
That's
industry.
why I was never pursuing real estate.
No, it's a very
It's
accessible.
only $4,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how that
And none of that goes to Kevo. These are all state fees that you have to pay: the school, the books, the state fees, the tests, all that
you have
junk.
gradual timelines.
Yeah.
It's not like a upfront.
No. So it'll be like $250 now. If you get through school in like a month and a half, then you'll pay another $65 to take the test. Once you pay like $10 to get your background check, and then the biggest one comes when you're done and you have to sign up for the MLS. The MLS is who takes all your money. And that's I think they're like 1,000.
Well, it just kind of depends on the time of year that you're
Oh yeah, they prorate it.
Anywhere from like 1,100 to 1,700.
And each year you pay for that.
And that's an annual thing, which I mean, all you're gonna do is sell one house and you're breaking even. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a membership.
Probably.
It's
After
like
one
joining
house,
a
you may-
union. Like it's one of those things you have to do.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb.
and they don't do anything.
But you'll make so much money that eventually it's just a penny a thorn. You won't really,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not going to be
You just pay 'em.
Yeah. Don't think about it. Just
Do
pay
it.
them. Everyone just paid our dues.
Basically your dues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep your license.
Yeah. So MLS gives you Oakmar gives you access to the MLS and to the e-keys that get you into the houses when you're showing houses. So you have to have, if you're going to work with a lot of clients, you have to have it, unfortunately.
Okay.
So it's $1,000 a year.
It's
it's
no,
like 1,500 a year.
They break it up
Quarterly.
through the year. There's quarterly, and I think they're going to start paying monthly.
After your
Well, if
first
you
year.
set up on auto pay, it's monthly. Otherwise, it's quarterly. It's $1,500 a year for your Oakmar membership, and then you pay your e-key monthly, which is
Which is
about
$20
$30 a month. Yeah.
Mine's 22.
22.
Yeah.
22 a month.
We just paid our dues.
Our
or
quarterlies,
$300
yeah.
or $300.
Yeah, quarterly due is $300. Yeah.
So after your first year, you can set up for monthly installments. You can't do your first year. You can do your seconds. Or third, yeah.
So that's where the big chunk of change goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense now.
And then if you're also concerned about the dues and everything, one thing about Kevo is they don't charge you dues. They don't charge you
Yeah.
monthly fees.
Right.
Where
Brokerages.
other
Yes.
brokerages
Yeah.
charge you a fee. Yeah.
Where do you work at now?
New there.
I know. Okay. Well, so then what I always tell.
I'm so lazy. I just got back in town from California trying to
Okay.
do real estate out there and decided I don't really want to live in California. Because I thought it was $4,000 to get started here and it's only out there, so I thought I'll go try it.
$850.
So they don't have the whole $1,000 a year thing.
Really?
Yeah, so
Damn.
they just didn't tell me that, but I asked so many questions and I called them so many times, and they were like, "Nope, all you need is this, and you're just gonna have to get with the brokerage." And my friend was kind of gonna help me.
I'm sure the fees for those brokerage firms are probably out the roof.
That might be where the
That's probably
fees
where
are,
it
but
is, yeah.
my friend,
Have
he's a
to.
big guy in real estate out there, and he was just like, "Jen, it's so easy to get going. It's like so cheap." And he was, so anyways, long story, but
Yeah.
I came to Kevo's class 3 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago, and then was kind of like what you were saying, wasn't really ready to jump in here. Went out to California, tried it, came back, and I'm like, I'm doing real estate here. I'm like, finally, like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And
So I ran into her.
Yeah, it was
at the
so
coffee
cool.
shop. Yeah, and she's
Oh,
like,
really?
"Are you with Kevo?" I was like, "Well, yes, I am."
Yeah, so
It was really, really cool.
Here's something that if you came to our Tuesday, was it like a Tuesday meeting where you kind of explained a little bit about the industry that you came to?
Actually, I came to one of these about
Oh,
2 years
Saturday.
ago. I met,
Okay.
what was the guy, the older guy, the real passionate guy?
Steve.
I met Steve.
The
Yes.
older guy, he's gonna love that.
I'm pretty sure you were here. I just remember.
You seem extremely familiar to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember you were so pretty. And then
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop
No,
it.
but I don't know. I don't think anyone else in this room was there. You might have been. I don't know. No.
I better agree now. Everybody else is new. So.
I think Brett and I are literally the oldest ones.
Yeah.
You were there.
As far as company.
I was like,
I think everyone else
What
is.
about what's his face?
And in this room.
Oh, in the room. Okay.
What's his face?
What's his that guy?
So here's what's cool about Oklahoma City. So $1 Million Listing New York. I don't know if you watched that. Serhant, one of the realtors on $1 Million Listing New York, he says he's kind of talking about how competitive the market is in Manhattan for realtors. 8 million people in Manhattan, 35,000 realtors, and only 12,000 houses sell a year. Flats, apartments, stuff like that. Because the average house is like $800,000 for an apartment, so most people can't buy that. So most people rent places.
Yeah.
But only 12,000 properties sell, and there's 35,000 realtors. You got to be pretty good to sell one of these 12,000, right? You got to think.
You have to have a
Okay.
name.
Yeah, you have to have a
That's
name.
what they were telling me this trip. They were just like, they're so competitive out there
Mhm.
for builders, and that's why I was like, oh, I just don't know what
Very.
to try.
Yeah. So, the exact opposite. We have 3,500 realtors in Oklahoma City, and 25,000 houses sell a year. So here you got to be pretty aggressive, pretty good. Here you can really suck and sell some houses, and we see realtors do it every day. And other companies.
Another company.
There's some real goobers out there selling a lot of houses. I can vouch for that. So the opportunity is definitely there. Now it's all, the 80-20 rule. It's all front loaded. 80 or 20% of the people sell 80% of the houses. So really only about 1,000 of these people are selling most of it. The rest of them are selling.
anything. Period.
Yeah, selling anything. The rest of them are selling 2, 3, 4, 5 houses a year. So their competition's really, if you really want to be impactful in the industry, you're really competing against about 1,000 people, maybe 1,500.
I don't even think that much.
Yeah.
No,
You
yeah,
run
it's
if you're out working, you run into the same
Yeah, it's the same
100 people.
That is so
That-
true.
Include realtors that are selling homes for builders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I worked for a builder and sold representative. and
Okay.
sold homes.
Yeah.
I know that that's a pretty big industry.
It doesn't include like builder reps. It includes realtors who list builders' homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not like a sales associate or something like that. But yeah, so it's much less competitive. Certain areas are super competitive, but out in Edmond, I mean, there are, I'd say a third of the houses that sell in Oklahoma City are all in a 5 square mile of Edmond. There's just a tremendous amount of houses out there. So tons of opportunity. The opposite of what California sounds like. But with what we do and what we empower you to do as a 1099 self-employed business owner, we treat you like that.
Yeah.
You have the option to do a lot of things that a lot of people won't let you do, a lot of other brokerages won't let you do, and you can break into it very quickly, even as a brand new person. So this is just kind of one segment
That's helpful information.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
that's what I felt when I got out to California. I was like, these realtors don't really seem like they want me in.
Right.
No.
Like, they
Well,
want
that's here too.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah, I've heard it's here too, and that's
Yeah.
why I've been so hesitant. It's like, I don't want cutthroat, working
Mhm.
with cutthroat mean, riding you down with the Mack truck.
You're in the right
I'm not the same,
place.
but then really
This
Kevo's
is
really
this.
I
sick.
know. That's why I wanted. Because I knew it wasn't like that here,
Yeah.
and I couldn't handle. I'm too sensitive.
Yeah.
I just would be like, you can have the house.
Yeah.
I'll buy you dinner too.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be able to like.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Some of the people on the show, I started watching Million Dollar Listing
Yeah.
too recently.
I love Frederick.
Some of those people, they started
Yeah,
somewhere
he's so
else, I
cute.
think, and they've done like real estate for 8 years, and then they'll go to the big city, like, okay, now I'm in the big league.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think I don't know how many of them actually, started
Start there.
in New York, right? In
Yeah.
cities.
I've always wondered that, like,
It seems like there's someone's assistant for a long time.
oh yeah,
You know, they work for somebody,
I mean,
and then they
all the-
decide they're going to step out on
all
their
the successful people are mentored by someone else who's successful.
Or
None
they
of
have
them,
a name.
yeah, or for somehow they have a name.
Yeah, nepotism.
Yeah, exactly. Their last name's the brokerage or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what my friend who's a guy out there who's a realtor, and his last name's Cosentino. The family's been in Malibu forever.
Mhm.
And he was just like, Pritchett and Rapp, they call, they want Pritchett and Rapp. They don't want to bring them. That's the last name. He was telling me what people are looking at. I know.
That's
So
Malibu.